Welcome everyone to GXPC Championship. We are here. We've got another match for you guys. We've got Schism Esports and Reign of Kings. This is going to be an interesting match as these two are looking to maybe play again at the first round of playoffs. But we're going to see how this one goes down. And of course, we just saw Schism yesterday have a very, very close set against White Lotus. And Reign of Kings coming off the back of a victory against a team that I'm attempting to remember in my head, and I can't. I want to say it was Red Dusk. But regardless, we're here. We'll be getting over to a pro draft here for these two. I believe we're getting into that now, actually. And for those of you just joining, I'm SKZ, and I'm here with Laxon.
Hey guys, it's great to be back, and hopping right in, we're seeing some interesting bans on both sides already.
No top laner is going to get to be played today.
Yeah, it's interesting to see not only that Urgot ban from Schism, we were probably a little scared of it from Fresh from that last series. He's a good job on that, but also that Darius, which you actually saw Mav play. So probably just a little bit worried about that Reign of Kings top laner.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like the Urgot ban, we've seen a lot of Viator play Urgot most recently in the last couple sets they played in the Darius. The ban coming on SKZ side is interesting, of course, as we did see Maverick, the one that piloted that before. I think Vader has a couple Darius games under his belt, but they are going to take away the sign. I feel like if they wanted to go full salvo on the top lane bans, that we should also see a Shen ban here. But most notably, Nezumi, the support for Reign of Kings, is very notorious for playing Shen support. So I think if we don't see a first pick Shen here on the side of Schism, it is most likely going to go over to Reign of Kings. But I also think that if Schism have first pick here, then they're going to very quickly go for the Shen.
And we see that's the Akali.
There's also that thing.
Yeah, Steve probably missing that from that White Lotus game too, really wants to show it off again. So
Definitely,
an interesting thing to note, I'll give you the inside scoop and everyone at home, the inside scoop as well from the E-Desk. This series should not be like most from Schism. They may be trying out some new things. So we do see the Schism banning that Zillion from before, but we probably aren't going to see these Zillion Soraka games these series, which should make it a little more exciting for you guys.
Yeah, say like I said earlier, near the start of the cast, this match very reminiscent. I believe if Schism does win this set, then we will see these seeds locked in as 3 and 6, which will actually have these two teams playing the first round against each other going into playoffs. So we may just see this match, once again. So this match, of course, gives Schism the opportunity to, try out some comps, see what might work for them a little differently, see if they can put something differently together with a couple of these players and see what goes on. So we do see the Lucian come in for, is that going to be for Carmony here?
Yeah,
Carmony. I feel like I haven't seen him play much Lucian.
Again, crazy. He does play more carry, like hyper carry, so you have probably seen him a little more on that Tristana, the Xayah.
Yeah.
But stuff that's been practicing behind the scenes. I think we saw Lucian once or twice, but
it's going to go nicely with the Alistar pickup that we see here.
And just an interesting thing to note on that matchup as well, just both teams, because Reign of Kings joined late, we haven't played each other yet, Schism and Reign of Kings. So it's interesting to note that if Schism does win, we'll go from not playing each other to playing each other basically back-to-back in the span of a few days.
True. So we do see the Kaisa go over to Asadius on the side of Reign Kings, which is interesting because I felt that they would have taken the Ezreal. It's been one of Asadius' comfort picks for most of the series, and I believe his only other pick really has been Varus. I don't think I've seen him on the Kaisa. No, that's a lie. I definitely saw him on the Kaisa. He played that in their set against Full Send Gaming, I believe. That was a good performance. But he's going to take it here into the Lucian Alistar with Brahma as his support. So looking to go for that as we see the Shen Veigar bans come through. Veigar?
Yeah, the Veigar ban is... I'm guessing it's just because of the Akali dash. You really want to make sure... It's almost more of just an anti-Akali ban.
Right. I feel like what we're going to see here, though, is unless this ban is Lysandra, I feel like we're most likely going to see Unique on Lysandra here. And they do take the Aatrox away from Viator, another one of his comfort picks. He's going to go for the Ornn here, maybe. Goes for the Ornn. Yeah, I would not be surprised at all to see Lysandra round out the composition of Reign of Kings. Of course, it's usually either... Unique usually rotates between Akali, Orianna, and Lysandra. And I don't think Orianna is the pick he's going to want to take into this Akali. So, but...
And we have seen a lot more Lysandra at Worlds, too. Gaining a little bit of popularity and people realizing that power with Aftershock now.
Yeah, see,
So
it's been interesting with Unique. He joined this league, and I mean, from even his first game that he played, he was playing Lysandra, and when it almost looked questionable, and the play of it was not quite up to par with what his skill seemed to do. But as the weeks progressed, he kept playing more and more Lysandra and found more and more breakout performances on it. But you see the Maokai come through. So after 5, 4.5, 6 top laners getting banned away from both teams, we do see the Maokai come in to face this Ornn in the top for Maverick.
well, it's interesting note that just before we see the pick, we do see a jungler, but we did see Bestron on that yesterday, so it was possible as a flex pick, but I'd assume we'll just see that Gragas come through instead.
Maybe it still is. This could be a Gragas top. All right.
The Gragas?
And,
all right. So we see that Lysandra come through. It's interesting to note that Schism has a lot of ways to deny Ornn that ulti follow-up. A lot of CC. Even just if they only had the Alistar alone, I would say it'd be tough for Ornn to get that. But even just, I'm gonna say, we did see one pick was wrong. I believe the Gragas is a Cho instead.
Either the Gragas or the Maokai is intended to be a Cho'Gath, so that is gonna switch over. But I do agree. I agree at the same time that with the composition that I feel, if it is the Maokai that is meant to be Cho'Gath, then I feel like the issue with Schism's having the Alistar to stop the Ornn ultimate is that Alistar is mostly going to be committed to starting fights. And I think if Ornn is not completely at the forefront of fights, like if it's Braum that's in front of things that Alistar's trying to get into, then Ornn kind of has freer reign to set up an ultimate from the back coming in than worrying about the Alistar in his face while he's trying to start one off. But we do see how that's going to play out here. We'll look for these 2 picks here on the side of SKZ to see where the Cho'Gath was meant to be.
So it is Cho'Gath top, which again, we don't know which one's replaced today because Bestron plays both of those jungle. You know, that 1 year flashback to Maokai. So I'll figure out for you in a minute what that was supposed to be. And there we go. Bestron forgetting what he was picking, actually. Hopefully he'll lock that in a sec. Get this rolling. I do have to say, I do like the Gragas into Ornn. Even with that Braum to block that barrel, because all it takes is a dash to the side. Especially if Braum wants to try to get that good old, get some of that passive stacking. That one good Gragas ult, although you'll get the slow from the Ornn ult, you will never have the follow-up because that knock aside from that Gragas barrel is so big. Not only will it push him away if he's trying to get it from the back, you have a chance to push, Taliyah and Kai'Sa up to the front, which is going to cause a lot of problems for that team fight if Akali and Cho'Gath can start to get on them easier.
Right, and they do have the multiple avenues of getting around on the side of Reign of Kings. Reign of Kings a much more forward-facing type style in these fights where they have sort of the Braum. They really are looking more to just chain ultimates together. They're really just the standard R button type fight where you have the Ornn ultimate, Braum ultimate, Lysandra sliding in, finding the snare, and just kind of trying to pile their people on top and say this is how we win fights. While on the side of Schism, you have a lot more potential for a pick. You have Cho'Gath knocking up somebody, Gragas splitting up the team, Akali getting into the backline to cause some chaos, and then Alistar being able to make his own moves for Carmony to slide in there on Lucian. So it'd be interesting to see how and both of these, and despite the fact that we see Schism is put together a very familiar comp aside from really Maverick and Carmony. I think are the only 2 sort of out of place picks, and we've seen Backpack on Alistar as much as on the Enchantress supports. So while a couple of the picks are different, I think the Schism idea is still very similar here. They have the potential, especially with Bestron and Gragas, to find their standard early plays. They're looking to make aggressive moves around the map, get their laners ahead, maybe put Reign of Kings down. But we have seen more fierce aggression from Reign of Kings in a lot of their early game maneuvers now, just sort of bringing themselves together as a team. So we're looking to see a lot more. We'll see if Always Time for T, the substitute jungler now for this game, this set from Reign of Kings, will be able to channel that spirit of Ajat and his notorious level 2, level 3 early ganks to really try to put Schism on the back pedal here.
And just an interesting thing to note when we're talking about these team fights is that both teams heavily favor magic damage favor that AP. With Schism really only having, that mixed damage on Akali and Lucian for their AD, where Reign of Kings only has, Kai'Sa does mixed damage and some of Ornn's abilities do physical or magical, I believe. So you really only have Kai'Sa deciding what build to go to decide if she'll go AP or AD, and if she decides to go AP, it could make Schism's job a lot easier building up those tanks.
Yeah, it should be something. I'm looking forward to it. I really think these two teams, for two teams that have not played yet all the way until the very last week, I feel like their styles have really adapted to look very similar to one another. They're both very, very early pressure type teams who like to close out games fairly early. We haven't seen a lot of them, other than sort of the Reign of Kings sort of crazy fest sort of pull out a little bit later than they like. But we've seen a lot of their wins come very early, and I'm looking forward to seeing if these two teams come out of the gates explosive, have some crazy things going on. But what do you, my friend Laxon, have to say for a prediction for Game 1?
It's interesting because if Reign of Kings gets Kai'Sa ahead, or honestly, if they even get Ornn or Lissandra ahead to get that front lineup, it's possible Kai'Sa just carries through a game where, on the other side, all you really need is Akali or Lucian to get ahead to try to assassinate that Taliyah and that Kai'Sa, and then Reign of Kings just doesn't have really any damage to carry through the rest of a fight. I'd say it's more realistic for Schism to take the win just because they have more options to get fed that are a little more impactful. Reign of Kings is really only feeding tankier characters or that Kai'Sa.
Gotcha, and we're going to head over to an ad break. We will catch you for Game 1.
My name is Tim Borseth, and I own and operate Games XP in Decorah, Iowa. Games XP is a geek paradise. We carry everything from Pong and Atari all the way to Xbox One and PS4, and all the games that would go with those consoles as well. We also carry a ton of movies. We have handheld games. We have Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon. We have D&D and Pathfinder. We carry Warhammer 40K. We have a vintage Star Wars selection. This place is great. My wife and I have had 6 kids, and they are so much fun to work with here at the store. They run the store as much as I do.
And we now repair cell phones, game consoles, computers, and small electronics.
Our store is instant fun. Not only is there cool music and cool stuff to look at, but we have a game room that is so much fun. It's free to play, and you just plug in your game system and enjoy life. The Game XP motto is bringing joy to people's lives through our products, people, and a place to play. So you have got to come to Decorah, Iowa, and check out Games XP and experience this geek gaming paradise.
And we are back with Game 1, Games XP Championship Series. We've got Reign of Kings versus Schism Esports, and we are hitting the map. And it looks like Schism is moving as 5. We see Reign of Kings splitting up here, and some classic Bush shenanigans.
Yeah, it's possible because of where Kaiser is, she'll just see them straight away. She's a little poked out, so might not get surprised if they hug that wall, though I don't really know what Schism will use to catch someone out.
They got the Flash Alistair Q if they want to get really crazy.
That is, you know, at that point, why not flash onto Blast Cone, jump over Alistair W back into the team?
There you go.
Let's get a little creative here.
Right. I'm about it. Bob Ross the gank a little bit. Not quite.
Just interesting thing to note before any excitement happens. Unique on Lissandra decided to go Comet instead of what we're seeing those big boys up at Worlds doing with Aftershock. So possibly just looking to abuse that Akali early game, really low health for Jen, and just try to poke out a little damage early to secure that laning phase. Though I'm not really sure.
Yeah, so I really think that the choice of Aftershock versus Comet really comes with what you want to do with Lissandra in your team. I think that going with the Comet really commits you to more of that damage oriented, and you know, I believe he's got the Time Warp tonic most likely off the back of the Corrupting Potion, so he's got, you know, the full damage in his build, and more times than often he has been at the center of these fights, really getting a lot of damage off in these early fights. So I'm not too surprised to see him go for the Comet over the Aftershock, where Aftershock gives you more of that, you know, team fight oriented. You last a lot longer getting your CC off, but don't do as much damage.
Just a funny bit of that top fight. These are actually two tanks that do a lot of damage. So usually we talk about those noodle fights, but we'll actually possibly have some early kills or early damage up there.
They both have a huge amount of % health damage in their kits, so
absolutely.
Seeing them fight back and forth very often is going to be pretty rough.
Especially because both junglers are moving towards that top side, so we don't really know who's going to try something first. And I like those early wards as well in the river, just to provide that little vision. Reign of King's doing a bit better job than Schism, but both teams will probably know when the junglers decide to cross over.
I love directed camera. It takes me to the top lane. I don't want to see anything else. I don't want to see Akali and Lissandra hitting each other. It'll be interesting to see if Unique has a better strategy for fighting Akali, as he's played a good amount of Akali himself in this league. And we see Stevenator go in and still find a combo off of the back of being rooted, and Unique still loses that on the trade here.
Well, you know, Akali is a fair and balanced champion, so really just definitely a lot of skill going invisible.
Ooh, always time for Titus here. There's a couple rocks. Might look for the flip here. Maverick's got to watch. Dodges out of the pillar, but he still gets a knockup from Viator. Flash after flash finds him. Goes to the next shoot, and the auto attack for first blood goes to Viator.
And just possibly just forgetting that Ornn has all that CC in his kit along with Talia, so they are able to really just stall him from getting the towers so quickly that it just makes a problem. I think the only way out of there is if he flashes right after the Talia flip, but right before he gets knocked up.
Ooh, we've seen Unique goes to the lockup. His best friend slides in for the body slam, and it does not have any result there. I don't think he landed it.
And, you know, good aggression from both jungles early. Both playing kind of those early game gankers. And both jungles will have a strong 6 gank as well. So it's nice to see a little bit of action coming through.
Yeah, it's really interesting. You see both of the impact these junglers are making early. Less so in the top lane, but especially on top of Stevenator, sort of that threat on the Akali, it's really put Unique on the back foot with his CSing. He's down about 15 CS already in this mid lane, just the 4-minute mark. And it's really giving Stevenator the opportunity to pull ahead on this Akali, which is really going to, you know, get him places.
And sadly, Cameraman never took us there, but Bestrin did try to invade T's jungle. Talia spots it out, pushes him off real quick. Bot lane tries to rotate, but really no damage, nothing taken.
Here we're looking for a little more, just all this damage coming out. It's a lot of damage coming out from Ornn's side of Vader. He finds the root there, gets a tower shot down on Stevenator. Tries to find some kind of value in that trade.
And Mav just not really respecting that Ornn damage along with that tankiness. That shield he gets along with that max health damage is really just probably aggravating for Cho.
You know, looking to go a little forward and zoom, trying to find some pot shots down on Carmony. Of course, back there, a lot of damage on the Alistair, and I mean, you even see Carmony's building up his own CS lead here on that Lucian. That what you typically expect of a champion of that nature against the Kaisa, who's a little bit more abusable early, doesn't really want to get near the Alistair.
And just calm match, honestly. Like we are seeing camera going around, a lot of damage going through, but really corrupting potion healing up the mid laners. Top lane is tanky enough where they can absorb the damage. Bot lane backing. You know, I was hoping to see a few more kills early, but really only the one in the beginning.
Yeah, really not as bloody of a game as you'd expect. I mean, you see the junglers moving around, but not really getting too terribly much accomplished. The first blood in favor of Vader was. We do see T come back here. No flash on Maverick now. He's got to watch out here. The steal is coming through. Maverick finds a double knockup. He's going to get flipped over by the Talia into the field of rocks. He tries to set a ward to get him to go somewhere. Maverick has nowhere to really go. Knockup from Vader. Who's going to get the kill here? T is going to take it as you see the teleport come in from the bot lane. Unique's there. Finds the ultimate on the backpack. And backpack's going to go down before he can even respond. Unique finding another kill. That's a 2 for Reign of Kings. But they're looking for more here. Bestrin is here. Stevenator right behind. Akali's on the hunt. Gonna get locked up. Stevenator is trying to look for something. Finds the Q on Inazumi. I don't know if that's the Q or the W. Finds the Akali knife throwing skill onto Inazumi.
And this top lane will never stop fighting. But just I gotta wait to see just in case. All right.
It's
An
wild.
interesting thing to note. Like talk about it now that we have a beautiful pause.
Right.
Gold isn't that far ahead, even though we've seen 3 kills go over to Reign of Kings and 0 on the side of Schism. And the biggest point to note is CS, with Akali having almost double Lisandra's farm, and Mav still maintaining about a 10 CS lead on Viator, even though he's being pressured by that jungle, just really not wanting to give anything up there. Even bot lane as well, having about 15, 16 CS lead, so Schism just really grabbing those minions a bit better than Reign of Kings and trying to stop the hemorrhaging of gold that's been going on.
You're really doing a nice job of making sure they don't get, pushed out of this game too early on. And of course, Stevenator not afraid at all to get in on here. Unique puts a lot of damage on him with that combo. Unique getting the snare and sliding out with the Claw of Frost. I'm gonna see Nazumi try to find backpack, trying to get to the rest of the Reign of Kings, but he's going really low here. He's stunned up. He actually dies. Asadeus picks the kill up. Here's the Ornn ultimate. Vader finds the knockup, and we're gonna find another one on backpack. He might go down next. Bestrin. The 2 of them go down, and Reign of Kings gonna turn the dragon here.
And just been a case of the wrong place, wrong timesies. Just not having your team around, not having those abilities up, not even having that level 6. So, Alistair doesn't have that ult to get tanky. Bestrin doesn't have that ult to knock away. Meanwhile, Reign of Kings is more bunched up and has just the higher damage right now, I believe, to really just focus down some of these targets, especially with that Braum passive being able to just apply that extra CC early.
Really just a little bit of outmaneuvering, I guess, on the side of Reign of Kings, and especially having that level advantage on T, even though, it's Talia ultimate, which I'm not using in that fight. Still having it over Bestrin to force a fight with everyone else's ultimate. But we see Nazumi trying to get in here. Backpack's going to find the knock, but we find the Braum ultimate. Someone's coming down here. That's T on the back. Finds the ultimate for the line. Takes the kill down on Carmony. Backpack has nowhere to go, but he gets the return kill off the Ignite onto Nazumi. But that's a double kill for Asadeus. This Kaisa is ramping up fast.
And just, I gotta keep chalking this up to disrespect. Schism is not respecting the mobility of Reign of Kings, and especially as we're gonna get later into the game. 2 teleports, and let's play out first.
Vader misses the knockup on Ornn. Bestrin's gonna find the flash, dodges the Lysandra snare, but there's time for T. He gets ulted up. He's got nowhere to go. The kill goes to Unique, and Bestrin getting found out in the jungle there.
And again, just back to the mobility. We have Ornn TP and an ult, Lysandra TP and the Claw, and has the knockup, or the lockdown, of the root and the ulti. Talia ult, Kaisa ult. Like, we have all these ways for Reign of Kings to move around, where Schism is much more of a kind of a stand there team, and we don't really see Schism respecting these abilities.
Here comes time for T. Maverick has flash. I don't know if he's gonna do it. He flashes out from the Talia flip, but Vader's still there. They might keep looking. He finds the knockup. T's still there. Doesn't quite have the mana. Gets silenced. And Maverick's going to walk out of there with barely on the end of his life.
And that Infernal Drake, you know, there's not many stats, so it's not pumping out too much, but really every little bit helps on people like Talia and Lissandra.
Oh, Maverick! Moving towards time for T! He flashes out of there! He had to worry. That was very close to feast range.
And just, you know, I'm almost sad that I said it was a calmer game before, as my Schism boys are starting to just kind of eat it here, but I wouldn't say an unsalvageable game, but with a 2k gold lead, you kind of got to start to worry about what's going on here.
Yeah, it's really not going in Schism's favor here, and with the only kill sitting on Backpack, it's... I mean, you still see the heavy CS lead built on the side of Steven here. I mean, he's sitting on a 40 CS lead now, but that's very much getting whittled away by the 3 kills, the finished proto belts, and now the active stopwatch on the side of Unique. So the advantages that Stevenator is really building up are not, you know, doing much for him at this point. And if the rest of Schism isn't really able to get it together, and these tanks aren't able to get tanky, but we do see Unique gonna lock up Steven. Proto belts forward. Besterin's here, ults himself to dodge the body slam. Time for T is there, finds the flip, and they get the kill on Besterin. Stevenator having to get out of there, turns back on Unique. He slides in on the claw. Frosty gets away from him, and a double kill goes to Time for T. Whew.
And just, you know, wonderful Lissandra gameplay there. We talk about how Akali's broken, but just kind of a shame to see, you know, Lissandra having stopwatch, having ulti, just so many ways to pause a fight and really let other people like Talia come through and pump out their damage. Just, you know, I think at this point we just need the Cloud9 special and to see that Talia turn into a Kindred next game and really just see no one die.
Ooh, the Ornn ultimate finds Maverick on the back. T gets knocked up, Maverick gets knocked aside. He's got nowhere to go. Viator hits him with the hammer, takes the kill down. And that is 11-1 up for the side of Reign of Kings. That is a 10 Darksteel stack sitting on all his Time for T here on this Talia. I figured I'd make a note there. This is interesting. This is definitely not... Maybe this is not quite the rosters. I don't know. I mean, I see the picks that Schism has made, and I don't really know if it's specifically the Cho'Gath. I just feel that T is really doing a good job of capitalizing on the top lane CC that Ornn has inherently. Just you find a Talia flip, and even the threat of a Talia flip forcing out Maverick's flash, you come right back, and on top you still have all this Ornn CC to gank with, and it's really just been, you know, easy times for him. And I feel like we're just not seeing enough response on the side of Besterin, who was most recent death we saw was him dying trying to counter jungle at like level 5.
I certainly have to agree, and the other thing that's worrying me about these picks is, although you're going to see a Cho'Gath and you go, don't worry, we got late game, we can just wait. You know, you see that at Akali as well. Lucian is much more of that early mid-game snowballer where he wants to close out that game early with those huge early power spikes. Right. So I almost wish that Lucian and that Kai'Sa were flipped and we could really rely on that Schism late game, but it's just kind of awkward where they want their power, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was going to say, I normally enjoy the idea of Lucian sitting on one of these Schism comps who typically will look for early plays and try to make early things happen, but I think that Schism is sort of moving towards more of the, you know, group and fight mid-game type comps that I feel like Carmony's old picks were really a lot better for. Like, you saw him on the Xayah, the Jinx sometimes, and those were picks he was very comfortable on, and they facilitated different Schism ideas, you know, work towards the mid-game and actually fight in. I don't know if the solution is really what they want to go with here, as we see another Infernal Dragon go over the side of Reign of Kings.
Just the scaling gets harder. And, you know, Talia being 3-0-7, I really talked about it last game, or last series during that White Lotus series, but Talia is one of those junglers that, you know, either you see them snowball early and they really have an impact, or they don't really do much. And certainly with 2 Infernal Drakes and all that gold, we'll really see the impact of that big AP damage.
Backpack goes in, finds the combo on Nezumi. Stevenator over the wall. Ultimate comes through, doesn't find anybody. Carmony is not going to find it. Backpack's going to find the kill on Nezumi. Stevenator slides in, takes the kill on Asadeus, but at the same time, top lane, Maverick getting abused up here We find Vader getting another kill up on Maverick, but that is a very important kill that is going to be put in the pocket of Stevenator as this is Unique trying to shove in this mid lane wave.
I'm kind of upset that we didn't see Stevenator stay, as this is kind of a battle for first turret between both teams that it's possible Schism would have won if that Akali decided to stay instead of back.
Ooh, Unique not quite finding the combo on the best run there. Might have looked for the ultimate for the kill. We do see the first tower go over to the side of Reign of Kings, and the immediate follow-up going over to Schism.
And things calm down again. You know, 3.5k gold lead, 2 Infernal Drakes on the side of Reign of Kings. Reign of Kings can kind of decide the tempo, so they can decide when to make the plays. And I don't really believe Schism is in a position yet with the items they have to really try to mount some sort of a comeback, so it's really just going to be a waiting game.
Oh my lord, time for tea. Veteran just disappears from the end of that fight.
Yeah, Talia's kind of deciding who gets to play and who doesn't. Kind of the problem you face when Talia gets that big of an early lead there.
Even near lurking.
And again, just calm trading. You know, we are going to get these action pockets, but I truly believe it's really just going to be Reign of Kings deciding how and when to make these plays.
Well, like I said, they have so many ways to make it happen. They have the, they have the Talia ultimate. Even if someone tries, if the back of Schism is looking juicy enough, they can just split them off with the Talia wall and then go for the Ornn ultimate, the Braum ultimate. There's actually just so much now that Schism has to worry about because their tanks aren't, tanky right now. And if they catch the bad end of a multi-man ultimate, then that will just completely end the fight right then and there. So having that added threat of being locked behind the Talia wall will just, compound things at this point. But they are going to look for the Rift Herald here, maybe.
I don't believe that's on any vision.
We do see Austin looking
anyway.
over. I think they're going to get it. Oh, he flashes over and takes it with a smite. Backpack's going to find the knockup, but I don't think they can do anything in time for T here. He's going to find the kill. Vader on the side trying to find Bester and finds the kill on Bester. Austin is popping the heal. He slides around with the Kaisa, but Stevenator gets him. They find the return kill onto Akali. That's a shutdown for time for T. They're chasing down Maverick now. That's 3-on-1. I believe they're going to get him. The knockup comes through for Vader. Carmene's on the side, and Illusion trying to do anything he can. Not enough. Time for T dominating on this Talia. And that is a 3-for-1 for the side of Reign of Kings. And I was wrong. The Herald did go over to Schism, and it was picked up by Backpack. Oh, my lord. Unique is there. Finds the kill on to Carmene as he's cut off by the Talia wall.
Wow. My statistical analysis, game analysis, really anything that we could say at this point. I believe WoW will just about sum it up as well as anything else I can go into here.
Yeah, that'll cover anything I was thinking as well.
Just maybe put on a bit better of a show for you all.
Yeah,
not being able to be here at the E-Desk. WoW again, but
yeah,
it's just 8k. Oh, I'm sorry, not 8k. I don't want to be rude. 7.4k gold lead. 3 turrets, 13 kills, 2 Infernal Drakes, and probably a whole lot of mental. Because I think anyone can agree when you're that far behind, you're kind of almost waiting for the end at that point.
Yeah, this is really it slowly shifts away from what do we do to what can we do next.
Yeah.
And I think that the answer is really, and I mean, you can see now that the idea that Reign of Kings put forward is we see Unique here slides away from both the Alistair and the Gragas. Very nice escape there as he's going to get out clean. But we do see Maverick does not quite have the same fate. Pulled by the Talia, they get on top of him and tease him. Unique's actually going to get slammed by 4 here, finds the ultimate on himself. Has the Hourglass too, goes to the Hourglass, stalling out some time here, flashes, but Carmene's going to gut him down.
Wait.
Finds the Triumph. Oh no, Unique takes the return kill through the Triumph field. It's not quite enough there, but we do see Reign of Kings is barreling down on the mid lane tower. First top tower is not going to give you what you want there. Vader going for the Ornn ultimate here to try to stall some time and take that tower, and I think they're going to get it.
Kind of an interesting thing. We see 2 members pushing down mid, 2 members pushing down bot. I gotta wonder, why not just leave Rift top? Unique wouldn't be there by the time it charges. At least, you know, you might not get the full turret, but you at least get half that damage done. And I'm sure that that timer, as we're seeing, almost has only about a quarter of it left, and I don't know how many more opportunities Schism's going to get, short of just dropping it in the base and stopping minions from hitting the Nexus turret.
Yeah, this is really where they wanted to use the Herald to either stymie away a little bit of that aggression that Reign of Kings was putting down in the other two lanes, or at least, you know, make something happen. But they are going to drop it here in the mid lane, and I think we see immediate pings coming down from both sides as we see the dragon get picked up, and that's going to be a Cloud Drake on the side of Reign of Kings there. So we do see Unique there in the mid lane to look at the Rift Herald as we see Schism kind of lined up here. Maybe a last stand.
And again, just one of those positions where Reign of Kings can decide whether or not to go in.
Rift Herald does find a hit on the tower, but not going to quite finish the job as they take it out. This is just a stonewall at this point. This is an 8.4k lead on the side of Reign of Kings, and they really got everything they're looking for here.
And you know, there are bright points. Akali is Akali, so, and Cho is Cho. That's the easiest way I can put it. So Akali gets on the back line, you know, isn't fed enough to really wreak too much havoc, but can really decide to take out Alcideus, or hopefully T, as time for T, 7-0 and 10 on that Talia, is really becoming a problem in these fights. And that's possible Cho is able to get, if a little CC comes through properly, and ult with all that health can really get something going.
Yeah, we do see Carmine everywhere trying to put some damage on Vader, but he is way too bulky. Time for T slides in on the back. Alcideus finds the kill on Maverick, and we're seeing Besterin try to throw some around, but also actually puts Vader on top of him there. Time for T taking another girl. He is legendary on this Talia, 8-0 and 10. They try to find Stevenator here. Maybe you might go for the flash. Unique's not going to find the play.
Yeah, Unique still has that ult, so it's possible they'll just want to push down and even look for some kind of an end here.
Do you see a little more going forward, and they are going to take the inhibitor here. This is... I hear death knocking. That's all I will say.
If this Baron goes over, I think it's just about time to start talking about draft for game 2. You know, as a Schism player, it hurts, but I gotta be honest. It's mounting to almost a 10k gold lead at this point. You know, you're in the base. 2 Infernals and an Air Drake creates a lot of problems. Mobility damage, and even damage again if you have Celerity running with that Air Drake, but just a whole lot of problems.
And we do see Backpack trying to find the combo as Baron goes over to the side of Reign of Kings. Vader actually on the side getting shot, cut down by Steve. Steve's actually finding some damage here. Unique's gonna go for the ultimate. T's kind of caught up on the backside, tries to get Backpack away from him, but he flashes, finds the combo, and headbutts him out real low. But Stevenator's over on the side. Stevenator, no! He's gonna die there. Alcideus finds the kill on him as he cannot get on top of Time for T. Did not have his skills for the combo. And in the end, we do see 2 go down on the side of Reign of Kings, and only 1 down on the side of Schism, so technically that was in their favor.
Yeah, just, you know, it doesn't have ult anymore. Yeah. Akali not having the ult there, Stevenator is getting a little big for his britches, we'll say, in honor of our British friend. I don't know if they said over there, but we certainly pretend they do over here. But, our British friend running the stream. Quick shout out to Nick. But, you know, really wanting to shut down the Talia. Big Gold has that, help me out, the thing that stacks for AP.
Medjai's soon. He still has still sitting on
Dark Seal, thank you. So, you know, 10 stacks on that Dark Seal, trying to whittle that away as well when you kill him. But, you know, without those ult stacks, Akali's damage, when you're not fed, just kind of tapers off. We saw Steve go big in that fight, but without that ult combo, without really having the energy to pull it all together, you know, you don't really have the tools you need to take out these fed characters on the side of Reign of Kings.
Yeah, really just... It's rough for Nizumi. He's going to find it slow there. They're really just kind of choking Schism out here. They're building into just a few gold shy of a 10k lead here, as they have the Baron still and a couple members, the 3 dragons. It's mounting very favorably if you're on the side of Reign of Kings, and unless we find a Hex Flash here from Backpack, off the back, find a 2-man knockup on a Unique, but there comes your own ultimate. It's going to find the knockup on 2, off the Braum ultimate. Backpack in the back there cannot survive. Alcideus finding a killer. Stevenator is actually going to burn out of this fight. Unique finds a self-ultimate, kills off Besterin. Stevenator trying to get in the fight, but can't do it. Dies to Time for T. Carmody tries to heal and get away from Vader, but there's nowhere to run. He's going to get slid down. Asdeus takes the kill, and it is only Maverick alive for the side of Schism, but I believe this is the final bell.
Yeah, just, you know, too much gold, too many dragons. Just really nothing went right for Schism that game. So,
yeah.
Hopefully we'll see a bit of a closer... I want to see at least a closer match game too as a Schism player, but I don't know how the audience feels, but I believe we're going to take a quick look at these damage charts to see who really flexed on us that game 1. Let us look.
You really want to look?
Oh, I don't, but I will.
Yikes.
So,
I looked.
So, I like rounding. You know, it's only about 104 damage to round up to, you know, 25k damage, which is 1,000 damage a minute on Always Times for T Talia. Say that 10 times quickly. You know, I know Bestrin likes to play Tank Gragas. He did do 3,695 damage on Gragas. I'll round it up to... It's nice to round it up to 4, I'll be honest, but I'll round it up to 4. And just give me one moment real quick. So that is roughly 6.25 times the amount of damage between the junglers.
Yeah, definitely not.
You know,
not a solid game for Best
other than Kai'Sa over doubling Lucian's damage. You know, Akali and Lissandra were only 2k apart. Lissandra only doing 2k more than Akali. Just kind of a gold thing at that point with that AoE damage and that tankiness. Lissandra led to stay in fights. And even, you know, Cho, you usually think of him as a damage tank, only putting out about almost 5k, where Ornn puts out pretty much 13k damage. So really just not only having these bigger health bars and these more resistances this game 1, but also just pumping out just an extreme amount more damage. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in this game too.
Yeah, we really saw a breakout there from the sub jungler time for T, and it'll be interesting to see what happens going into game 2, but I believe we are going to get into a short break before we get there, so we'll be right back. And we are back. Welcome to Games XP Championship. We're at Game 2, Reign of Kings versus Schism Esports. We just saw Game 1 go over in a very convincing fashion to the Reign of Kings off the back of the substitute jungler, Always Time for Tea, on a very devastating Talia performance. So we will see going into Game 2 if some adjustments are to be made on the side of Schism, and we will see what goes on.
I had just talked to Schism before. So we are going to see, you know, classical picks. We're going to see Soraka top. We're going to see Pike mid. Just to really get the ball rolling.
Mm-hmm.
No. God.
Sounds good.
God help me if they decide to do that. Just to be a little more serious, we do see top bans again, just to try to keep the power off that top lane, and I'm assuming... What would you like to see third ban from Schism? Because I was going to say Talia, but they'll take it away right now anyway.
I mean, is it a matter of... what do I want to see on their side? They do take that. They do have... Well, first pick is on RFK's side, and I believe they may want to look for the Akali here to take it away from Unique. Because I think if Akali's on the table, I think Unique will definitely put it back in his hands. And I don't think that's something that Schism wants to deal with, on top of Always Time for Tea, who most likely is not a Talia one trick. I believe he's got, you know, a jungle, you know, Swiss Army knife to pull out. So while they can take away that one pick from him, I think that they really want to prioritize the Akali so they really don't have to worry about two threats coming out of the side of Reign of Kings. Because Unique has proven that he, you know, as good of a champion as Akali is, I think he has proven to be a capable Akali player himself. So I think that any ban but Akali here will immediately see an Akali get locked in for Reign of Kings.
I believe you're going to be sad, and we're going to see an Akali locked in.
Ooh, yep. Kaisa taken away.
Yeah.
That's fair. We are, yeah, and we're going to see the Akali.
How smart you are.
I would say, I'm not sad about it, because I get to see Unique's Akali again, which is always something interesting to watch for me. But I think that SKZ may be the sad one seeing that Akali go over. And depending on what we see come out from Time for Tea, again, it's really just having the multiple threats they have to deal with there. So it's not just, you know, keeping track of the jungler and what he's doing to stop her. Okay, now it's just you have that existing threat of Unique's Akali that will just be there. And I mean, the Zillion is a good answer, I do think.
Yeah.
So putting Steven in on that is definitely a good move for them. And now handing Shen over to Maverick there is going to be a good option as well. So they have a good defensive core here built. So I think that right now, if we see the Lucian to come in for Schism, then I believe they're making a grave mistake here.
Yeah, you really want to see one of those scaling ADCs, and we do see Tristana banned, and Kaiser banned as well by Schism. But, you know, Xayah doesn't really have that much popularity right now, but it's possible, especially with Camille being able to dodge some of that damage in Hextech Ultimatum. Or I don't believe you can dodge Hextech Ultimatum if you ult at the right time, correct? It will still go down.
On who?
Camille to Xayah. I believe if both players ult, it still goes down, right?
I want to say the ultimate still goes down, and you still get locked in the cage, and then you're not able to, you know, freely move out with the Xayah ultimate. So I think you get locked into the confines of the ultimate.
So at the very least, you'll see some damage dodging, and again, we see Osidais as Ezreal, which he's very...
Right, that's just his comfort pick.
Yeah,
so I'm not surprised to see that if the Kai'Sa goes away. I thought we might have been able to maybe see the Varus, but we are going to see the Ezreal instead. So that's going to go.
A lot of comfort from both teams so far, it looks like. But it'll be interesting to see if we see a scaling ADC picked here by Schism.
Yeah, I would say. Oh, we are going to see the Xayah. Okay.
Xayah.
That does also leave the option of Rakan open for backpack. I don't think we've seen the Xayah Rakan duo come from Harmony backpack. I think usually the times we see Xayah, we also see Soraka come out from backpack.
Yeah, but you see a lot more of that Enchanter healing-esque bot lane, just trying to keep Harmony alive and let Harmony be that main damage dealer. It'll be interesting to see if we go through that again.
So the Orange is going to come out. The Rakan is going to immediately get pulled away from the side of Reign of Kings ban. Schism looking for another one here, maybe looking to take out another. Most likely going to take out the Aatrox here to take it away from Viator. I would
assume it would be Aatrox or maybe that Darius they've been a little worried about, but you know, they're with all these, yeah, there's the Darius, but all these support options open for Reign of Kings, even though they had to ban a few out themselves. It'll be interesting to see what they want to pair with this Ezreal in the bot lane.
Yeah, let's say we've most notably seen Nezumi mostly play Shen support with this Ezreal, and it's really worked out for him, just having that dual utility of the Shen. But now having that Shen over on the side of Schism, it'd be interesting when he goes for the picker. We're seeing him more. Still might have the possibility of him playing Alistair. We have seen Nozumi play a few Alistair games of his own, and seeing that, of course, with the Camille Akali, it may just be them, trying to turn Schism's previous comp against them, really. So I wouldn't be surprised to see if that goes through. But we are going to see what Schism goes for, and they're going to go for the Rammus here for Bestrin. He has played quite a few games of that Rammus, and looking for maybe to get on top of the Ezreal, the Camille, to stop him from slicing through the back team.
And especially good into this Akali, if you can get the taunt before she gets smokescreen, or even during, you can kind of pull her out of it. So it is kind of a good counter pick. We do see Aatrox just kind of...
Yeah, of course, that was a no-brainer to lock in.
Yeah. And I believe...
so that leaves the support here.
The matchup is favorable to Aatrox in that top lane, correct?
I want to say every matchup is favorable in Aatrox as long as he's hitting the guy, but I am not a top lane aficionado of any regard, so... We do see the Alistair, I did call that one, so he's going to go for that.
What do you think Backpack's going to lock in here?
What do I want to see? I really think... I want to say he's going to go for the Soraka, and he definitely should not go for the Soraka here.
I'm going to put money on Zyra.
Zyra?
Yes. I think now is the time to mix it up. Over these last 2 games, we've seen Schism just do a lot of weird stuff.
Wait.
That is probably not supposed to be Jax. It could be Shen's support, actually.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Something we didn't even consider, since Mav is basically a Shen 1-trick.
Yeah, I was going to say we've seen Mav
2-trick. I don't see anything in chat.
Huh. So we get to see Jax Rick, and we get to see Backpack on Shen. Those are... That's still a change up, that's for sure. I have not seen either of those.
Welcome to League, friends. Oof. All right. I'll be honest. I don't know where to start. Maybe you want to start, because this is very confusing to me.
So, I don't know. I feel like the thing that they have. So if you look at Schism's side, you have Shen. You have the Shen Zillion protection, like the protection system. You have Rammus as your frontliner. And the thing that I like talking about when you build comps like this, when you build the double protect with a tank, usually the 5th member of your team wants to be committed to, a champion, usually a melee champion, somebody that just wants to, throw chaos into the center of a team fight. And if Maverick on this Jax is able to get himself to a point where he's doing a considerable amount of damage, he's becoming an unignorable threat. If he's getting onto the back of maybe, getting on Ossideus or getting it. I want to say that I can believe in the pick, because it's sort of the idea of a champion that I like seeing in these compositions, where you have the late game carry with double protect. Usually you just see double protect, double tank, and you just see, they're impossible to get. It just makes it harder to get to the AD carry. But having another sort of damage source on this Jax will force Reign of Kings at some point to split off and say, we need to deal with this Jax while we're trying to get to the Xayah, because if we focus everything on the Xayah, then Jax will be just beating our people in the back, and they're eventually going to fall over. So I feel like that's the idea that Schism wanted to look for here, rather than throwing Maverick onto another tank and just saying, okay, we have 2 tanks and 2, utility protects. If Unique finds Carmony with the Akali, he's dead. So they're really trying to do as much as they can to say, we don't want to put all of our eggs in one damage basket and say that if one falls, then the whole team is gone. Because we've seen that happen with Schism comps. Schism has built that comp quite often with Stevenator on Zillion, especially. You just see these comps that get built around Carmony, and they get the tanks, they get the supports, the utility, all for Carmony, and he gets picked off by an assassin, or somebody just finds him and he dies. And that is just the end of Schism's team fight. That just the end of it completely. And I think that we're looking now for a new breath on the Schism side to, stop that from happening. So I think with the advent here of Maverick on Jax, we may see that idea come forth for Schism here. And that is my full assessment of that Jax pick. And it is definitely not just Maverick trying to hit things.
Hopefully not. Just talk about lane matchups real quick. we did talk about before. You mentioned Aatrox wins against. I'm sure basically everyone but another Aatrox is a fair point. But interesting to note that Jax really messed up those first two, or just baiting it out and jumping away kind of gets that long cooldown out early. So Jax may make it a bit of an interesting top lane matchup. Jungle, I hope they never see each other. I believe because Camille has that true damage, she just looks at Rammus and says, you know, you're done. You're done here.
Right.
So it's really, I think, more in Steve Nader's hands to decide how this lane goes as opposed to, you know, we know Unique is good at Kali, but I don't really think it's in his hands necessarily. And bot lane is, as a support main, I can honestly say I don't know Shen versus Alistar matchup well. They're both big boys. They both want to be on the enemy AD carry. And it's possible if some weird stuff happens, we could have a funny little fight where Alistar's beating down Xayah while Shen's beating down Ezreal, and it could just be a matchup of who deals with who first.
It very well could happen.
Funny is Shen technically has better resistance early because with that, I believe it's the W, he can dodge those basic attacks, where Alistar really has to wait until level 6 to really get that damage reduction out. So even though Ezreal should have the better poke with those Qs, if they try to force some mini fights, mini skirmishes in this bot lane, Schism can take control.
So hit me real quick with a prediction, Laxton. Who's taking game 2?
As a player for Schism, I'm going to have to say Reign of Kings 2-0.
All right, sounds good. We are going to head to a commercial break here, and we will be right back.
And I own and operate Games XP in Decorah, Iowa. Games XP is a geek paradise. We carry everything from Pong and Atari all the way to Xbox One and PS4, and all the games that would go with those consoles as well. We also carry a ton of movies. We have handheld games. We have Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon. We have D&D and Pathfinder. We carry Warhammer 40K. We have a vintage Star Wars selection. This place is great. My wife and I have had 6 kids, and they are so much fun to work with here at the store. They run the store as much as I do.
And we now repair cell phones, game consoles, computers, and small electronics.
Our store is instant fun. Not only is there cool music and cool stuff to look at, but we have a game room that is so much fun. It's free to play, and you just plug in your game system and enjoy life. The Game XP motto is bringing joy to people's lives through our products, people, and a place to play. So you have got to come to Decorah, Iowa, and check out Games XP and experience this geek gaming paradise.
And we are in Game 2, Reign of Kings versus Schism Esports. We've got moves around the map. We see the stack in from SKZ. They are moving towards the bottom of this map, and I believe they're going to get found by Alcideus.
Now, we saw them ping for an invade right before. I hope everyone blinked when Stevenator flashed.
I had no idea what you're talking about.
I don't either. So let's just pretend like that didn't happen. And God, we'll see Reign of Kings maybe try for a deep ward. That's possible they'll get found out since they've taken so long and 3 members are rotating up. But they may just be able to get the ward and go.
Oh, we see.
Oh, don't do it.
Maverick looking. Vader and Unique are in there. They put a lot of damage down on him. He's got the counter-strike up. He stuns up Vader. Unique looking around.
That was cause them to get late to lane. They do have that ward, so they know that Bestrin is starting at red buff. That little bit of knowledge will help them out. But other than that little bit of a jungle switch, never mind. Vader's gonna try to make his life interesting here.
Vader really trying to put some damage down on Bestrin as he's trying to solve that red buff. He's gonna get pushed away from his red buff.
And it doesn't really reset, it looks like, so Bestrin just able to kind of say whatever. I'm still gonna get it. Slows him down a little bit, but you know, it does allow T to start that vertical jungle, and it appears that because there's no wards there, Bestrin won't really know about it, but you know, it'll be interesting to see if he decides to vertical as well, or if he does make a bit of a wrong move and go to check there.
We're trying to put a little damage down on Vader here in the top lane. Mizumi finds the knock-up on a backpack, and backpack not quite finding the return time to Alcideus. And I do want to point out very quickly before we get into action is the bets have been locked for this game, and we do see that 33% of the bet went over to Schism Esports, 67% of the bet went over to Reign of Kings for taking this match. And time for T, popping over the wall into Stevenator, gonna put a bomb on himself, finds the flip, the flash from Unique, as he takes auto attack and back into the smoke to dodge out the Rammus Powerball. And that is a quick first blood. And we see the double knockup from Nizumi. As we see the return taunt from Backpack, putting a lot of damage, the Ignite coming down, and Zaya snare on Nizumi. Flashed up, double flash coming through. Carmody takes the auto attack, takes the kill on Ostaeus, looking back on Carmody, finds the E, but the heal comes through on Carmody, and they dodge out the return from Ezreal. A double kill going over to Carmody.
So, a bit of a shame in the mid lane there, but that is what we were talking about a bit early. We want to see Carmody on now the scaling ADC start to get fed. And the good news about Zaya, even though she's a little weak right now, if Akali does decide to jump on her, she can just kind of ult away and hope that her team between, you know, a Shen taunt, a Rammus taunt, a Jack stun, and possibly a Zillion stun if he lands it right, that there could be some kind of CC just to stall him out. So, you know, between everyone that could get fed on Reign of Kings, you know, you'd really worry that we can
time for T over the wall, and Maverick hardly having time to go anywhere. The flash Q from Vader finds the kill, and T is showing off shades of a Jot here on this Camille. It is working out for them. Another solo kill, or lane kill going over to Vader.
And just a quick TP in, but as I was saying, you know, now of course, we're getting kills on Aatrox who you don't want fed, Camille you don't want fed, and Ezreal you don't want fed. It's weird to say you'd prefer kills on a Camille, but I'm not kills on Camille. It's weird to say you'd prefer kills on an Akali, but I believe with Schism's comp, that's really who they'd want to get fed, if anyone. Just because of that taunt ability, that stun ability, and that Zaya ulti.
Yeah, they definitely committed a lot of lockdown to the Akali, so they hand it over the Akali and pick bans and say, all right, if you want to make something happen here, now we're trying to make a fight on Vader. It's rough.
Yeah, that
lamppost is not as big as a sword.
Yeah, possibly should have went with a different skin to get a bit more damage on that weapon, but not much there. And just talk about wards real quick as well. Schism, you know, a couple deep wards this game, but you know, Reign of Kings, a few pink wards out early just to try to establish that long time vision, possibly catch Bestrin out. But just not really a lot of vision on either team, so especially top lane, both junglers could have a good opportunity to try to make a play there, or if they come from the right angle through mid as well.
Yeah, I just want to see a little more from the side. As we see everyone kind of on the back end here. We see CS lead being built up a little bit on Carmony's side off of the back of that kill. And Steven A are just both solo lanes, honestly, despite dying or mitigating their losses a little bit. We see Steven A only down a couple CS. And Unique looking for him now. He's manless. He flashes away from Time for T off that hook shot, but we do see Besterin kind of hanging around there.
You know, he does have that ult. I don't believe he had the mana for it, but you know, when he comes back, it will make those plays a little bit harder to make for Reign of Kings, as he will just be able to, if he can get himself under turret, just kind of push them out due to turret damage and just kind of revive and go about laning as normal.
See several pings going down on Time for T as he moves down the river, but I think he's moving towards the side of Besterin here. But bot lane of Schism is rotating here. T might be caught out. Tries to hookshot over. He's going to get taunted up by the Shen. T might go down here. Nizumi tries to go in, but Nizumi now in a bad spot in the center of 4. They're going to look for him next. They turn around and get the ignite and the knock up on the back, but I don't think that's enough. Besterin's there, walks in, gets a chilling smite, looking for the taunt, taunts him up, and Besterin's going to find the kill there. Unique's here, though. Tries to find the combo down on Carmony. Finds it in, jumps in, takes the kill out, gets the shutdown gold on Carmony.
And that 600 shutdown gold is a bit rough. You know, we saw a bit of an unfortunate thing. Carmony, no flash, no ulti, no mana. Makes it a little rough. But, you know, overall a pretty good fight for Schism, catching out Camille. Starting to get some of this gold, but, you know, I think it's Reign of Kings this time. Or hold on a sec. Mav almost dying, but Reign of Kings CSing better. Vader doubling Mav's CS currently. Really just kind of enforcing that 1k gold lead they have.
They're really putting Maverick in a bad spot here. We're just seeing that bully power of the Aatrox. Maverick going in for the ultimate, but we see the ultimate from Aatrox coming out as he turns him for the combo. And he's going to die to tower here to reset that aggro, get himself that fresh heal, and slides on out of there.
Yeah, sadly that is just something Aatrox decided to do.
Ooh, Time for T! The combo comes through on top of Nizumi. He gets no time to respond. No feathers are going to fly, and he dies.
And no vision plus no Shen plus no ulti equals a bit of a problem, as we saw there. As Carmony doesn't really have a chance to play the game.
Well, they have vision. They have the ward in the river.
Oh, they do. It's just overlapped by that other word. So even with vision, it's a little interesting. I guess he was just a little too far forward. But
oh, he didn't have ultimate. He was on level 5. Okay.
Yeah, he was on level 5, so no ulti, no flash. You know, Alistair even had stun getting ready. So, you know, there was even more if they wanted it. But a 4-man posturing here bot lane could become a bit of a problem.
Ooh, we see the combo from Alistair. Trying to get away. Carmony getting eaten up again on top of 3. Unique is here, finds the kill. Trying to look for Backpack now. Puts down the 5-point strike. Backpack's gonna probably taunt over the wall here. But we do see Bester looking for Vader. Flash is there, and Vader's gonna flash away, not getting taunted up.
And just kind of... I'm not even sure. I guess he scratched the minion, even though it doesn't look like he was there. So a bit unlucky, I'd say, on Bestrin's side, not having Powerball carry through that flash, so he doesn't have to kind of decide to let Vader go.
We're going to see the First Blood Tower go over to the side of Reign of Kings, splitting up between 3.
And, just out of curiosity, because I'll go second, because I'm asking, but if you had one word to describe this early game for Schism, what would you call it? Give me one word. I can go first if it helps.
Feel free to go first.
Oof.
See, I want to agree, but at the same time, I feel like the idea that Schism kind of put together, they have kills on Carmony, is at least something that's going in their favor. We are seeing the surmounting lead coming across the board, and we see the taunt come in from Backpack. The best one's coming in too. Time for T's getting taunted up, bombed up by the Zillion. The heal's gonna come in from Asdea, so I think he's gonna live through this. A nice effort on the side of Schism. Unique trying to flip over, not quite finding any kills going through there. The feathers are flying from Carmony, does not quite find on Time for T there as he walks away. Nizumi now looking for Carmony, doesn't quite finish the combo, he didn't have the mana to knock up. Nizumi's gonna get ignited up here. We see some more people coming through, Besterin's in, and weak members of ROK are gonna back here.
Oh brother, oh brother, oh brother. Just a lot of. I don't even know if
My one word,
call that
by
one
the way,
funny.
is just
Yeah.
gonna be eh.
I respect that. I appreciate that for my team. Or hold on a sec here.
Astadeus is Ezreal and doesn't care about any of that.
Especially with that minion wave coming in, just decides minions could give their lives up.
Maverick flashes out of the cage, not quite finding the jumping back that he wanted there.
Now, I do have to agree with you. We are seeing some kills on Carmony, but just shot calling wise and macro wise, this gold lead is going to be used a lot better by ROK. In my opinion, I feel like we're seeing a lot smarter plays from the side of Reign of Kings this game between objective control, rotations, and just the fights they're deciding to take. It looks a lot cleaner from Reign of Kings.
Schism. Oh, they find the taunt to Alistair. Veteran's there. The teleport's coming in on the side of Schism here. Nazumi's trying to find somewhere to go. Trying to get away from people. He's bulky on that ultimate, but I don't think it's going to last much longer. He's trying to get to Unique here. Unique might slide in here. They got to get away from the Kali now. But here's time for T on the side. The Ezreal ultimate clips through 2. Carmony's going to get locked up. There's Unique on top of Carmony, but he gets the Zillion ultimate to get revived. They're on top of Vesper now. Unique's on a rampage. Carmony's trying to find himself in the back end. He's ignited up. Asadeus might actually get into a fight here, but he's going to get healed up. And they're going to find the kill onto Carmony, onto Vestrin, and nobody down on the side of Reign of Kings. Ah, there we go. We see the Q kill off the side of Backpack on Nazumi off the back of the Zillion Bomb. So the Alistair does go down there.
And just again, what I was talking about before, you know, Alistair being able to pop ult and leave, Schism decides to chase an Alistair without any really CC left. It gives Reign of Kings so much time to collapse on them. I believe that was 1 for 2, if we count that extended trade at the end.
Right.
So just, again, just these smarter decisions, these better rotations, and Schism just has to clean up their game, I'd say, if they really want to make an impact later.
Vestrin. Oh, Vader pops the ultimate to get away there.
Yeah, a bit nice to have that cooldown down, but I'm not sure if we'll see anything come of it in this top side.
Needs in a pluck down that mid lane tower.
A curiosity. So let's just run down some things real quick, because I believe I have a minute. Vader has about 1.5k gold lead on Mav, same gold lead jungle, 2k gold lead mid for Akali, and 500. The supports are the same, and the only gold lead that's in Schism's favor is Carmony's about 300, 300 to 400 up on Ezreal. But the problem is Ezreal with Klepto, you get a few sacks of gold, and he can just kind of be like, yeah, I'll take, I'll just kind of take that gold lead back. So not even really a permanent gold lead there, in my opinion. Just kind of one that depends on more the RNG side of League than anything else. If you can hit a few more Qs in this game,
really gonna it'll get Carmony to a Storm Razor, which is a considerable spike in damage, especially for Xayah as you combine this Storm Razor passive with my lord, Unique. Maverick doesn't have the dodge there. Unique hitting all of the Akali buttons, and they kill Maverick.
And just, hold on a second.
Vestrin looking here. But Nazumi's on the back end trying to look for Stevenator, maybe trying to look for Vestrin here. Vader finds a knockup off the back of that. They're going to find the double knockup onto Vestrin. He has nowhere to go. Vader's going to find the kill there. The Feather's going to rear up Nazumi here. We see the ultimate from Ezreal clean through. And that is going to be another pickup for Reign of Kings.
And, just
time for T. Gonna get locked up here. I don't know if it's enough, but he's gonna get burned down real quick. Finds the intangibility through the ultimate. The feathers fly through more. T's gonna go down here. Backpack's gonna dodge out of the Aatrox cage. Stevenator looking. Nobody else is there. Unique, meanwhile, looking for Maverick, pops the gunblade off of the back of that, throws the spinning discus of some kind. I want to say it's a Akali's W. I'm not looking. But
W is the Shroud, I believe.
Oh, is it?
Like, and I'm a little rusty on that as well.
Yeah. Well, it was our old Shroud, so it's probably still a Shroud. So yeah, you're right. So I'm gonna call the E throw.
Yeah, the E boy.
All right.
But I'm kind of lost here because Carmony after those 3 early kills isn't really picking any up, and the few kills that are going around, support Shen doesn't really need him. Rammus doesn't really need him. You know, it's nice to see on Zillion, but we were talking about before, the big carries you want to see being able to impact these fights would be either Jax or Xayah. And we don't really see any scaling from either of them.
Nezumi trying to get back out of there. Backback's going to find the taunt onto the Alistar, but he is way too tanky. Besterin trying to get into the center of things. Time for T, doing way too much damage, flashing in there, but Nezumi's going to find the kill onto Besterin. T getting snared up by the Xayah feathers. They are still going to find another kill onto Besterin here.
And just, you know, another dragon. It's the same story as last game, in my opinion. Objective control, rotations, ganking potential. Like, everything is just kind of rolling through for Reign of King's favor. And with about 7k gold lead, again, I'll round up at the extra, like, 300 gold. About 7k gold lead for Reign of Kings. It's the same thing. They can decide the tempo, when to go in or not.
Oh, time for T over the wall. Lock Steve Nader in the box. Trying to time out the Zillion. Oh, there's the Shen ultimate. They wait out both. They get the Ignite down on him. Backpack is there, but I don't know if he's going to make anything happen. Unique's going to find the kill. He's on top of Steven Air now. He finds the Shuriken throw. Blocks off time for T's hookshot to the wall, so they do find the return kill on a T. But now Unique's in the center of things. Nezumi is here with him, though. Trying to block up Carmen. He finds the stun. The feathers fly. Vader is here. The root comes in as the stun comes down. Unique's trying to find Carmony, but he gets taunted up by the Rammus. Nezumi running into the center of things. They don't care about towers at this point. Legendary on the Zakali's. Unique finds the kill on the Carmony. Reign of Kings is kind of running away with things here.
And just to comment on the early part of that fight, when we saw Shen get the ult off and get in, this is one of the reasons I'm really against Shen's support and why I've never really tried to pick it up, is that, you know, you do get that big protective ult, you can save some lives, but after you get there, you know, usually the person you ult is really low health, they have some kind of advantage because of the gank. What are you going to do when you're there if your team isn't there to help?
Right, it's usually the utility of the Shen support to, you know, get to somebody in the near the start of a fight, rather than top lane Shen, where you mostly want to see those ultimates come at clutch moments to save somebody from the brink of death. The Shen support you typically want to see come near the beginning of fights to, you know, turn the tables and say, oh, we didn't have to worry about a Shen taunt before, now this Shen taunt is coming off the guy that we were focusing, so we've all overcommitted.
And even with that damage, you don't have the ability to, after you get there, make the play. Even when you have the utility, if you can get in early, you kind of have to look at your teammate and say, you know, I ulted you, I taunted you, go get him, Tiger. You can't say, you know, I'm here, I got this.
Right.
It's something we've seen on Mav Shen because of the way he builds it. But from this support Shen, you know, having the full build out support item, getting these tankier items first, especially because he's behind, it's just kind of a problem here that he isn't really having any impact after he gets there.
It's really just, it's not as much of the composition that I think SKZ wants to build here. And I mean, especially if they want to commit everything to Carmony here, because you typically want to see the Shen ultimate coming through first, maybe, and then the Zillion ultimate coming after. And as long as both of those are getting spent on Carmony, then that's fine. But the problem now is that you've handed Unique to Zakali, and he just says, I don't care who you are at this point. If I find you, I'm going to kill you. Because I'm Lichbane, Gunblade, 10 Dark Steel, stack of Kali, I will just tear you apart. Because nobody on the side of Schism has built enough resistances or anything to really stop this Akali from going through. So it's sort of this idea, and I mean, we saw Besterin at one point got a nice taunt off to stop Unique for a little bit from, you know, running rampant. But it's at the point now where they have to commit absolutely everything to Unique to stop him from killing someone. And it's just
as we see Rift come down, an interesting thing to note is that little engage earlier. Alistar popped his ult to get out. So, you know, I don't think it's the end of the world for Reign of Kings, but just every little thing matters for Schism's favor. It's possible they could try to turn that into something here, as they may have to fight to keep this Rift Herald off from getting further and further in.
Yeah, we see the Rift Herald take another pot shot at the tower there, and we're looking for the Rammus to come through. Vader finding the knock up on the back here. Vader, oh my lord, Unique kills Carmony before anything can go off. Havoc trying to get in the center fight to get a stun down. We're going to see the Zillion ultimate come through on Besterin. The Shen barrier is going to block some auto attacks, but that's a double kill for Akali. Vader on a rampage now, and everyone is coming through. That is kill after kill. Steve Nader is going to go down next, and we are going to see Reign of Kings move forward, and I think they're gonna make a play to end the game here.
Yeah, this is just,
Oh.
you know, they have the bot lane. I don't know about endgame, but they could certainly have an impact here if they can get one more tower. They aren't necessarily low because Aatrox has that healing, and Alistar's ult is going to be up very soon.
Ooh, we do see the flash taunt from Backpack. The feathers fly, they come through, trying to get some more damage through. That's a little bit of kills coming back on the side, but that's so much damage coming out from Viator. Backpack can't get in the center of things. Bestern's trying to find something to happen, but that's too many members dead on the back end here. Steve Nader not even in this fight. A double kill comes through for Unique, and that sustain just came through on the Aatrox and Akali, and just, they didn't die there.
And with all this healing, that's a problem. Again, these timers aren't necessarily too long, but they can just kind of decide to keep going.
Ooh, Steve gets pulled back into that fight off of the Aatrox cage. And Reign of
most
Kings.
team comps, you'd look at this and you'd say, you know, why are they still here? All the members are coming up, but again, are they backing out now? But, you know, 2 red buffs, healing on characters, gold leads for damage. I mean, Akali's 12-0-4. So you can only imagine the gold.
Unique deciding to escape back into a fight, but is gonna find the back end of the Rammus taunt. Best one's gonna taunt, and we're gonna go through.
Yeah, and that's really not who you want to see the gold go to. I mean, it's nice that Rammus got it, but just, you know, a bit of an oof there as kind of, you know, we'll get the resistance stuff, but you're really hoping Carmony gets it, maybe even Jax, to try to get some damage and try to get something rolling here. Again, some kind of last hope effort.
Yeah, we're gonna see the Baron go over to the side of Reign of Kings, and really looking for Schism to try and pull a last hurrah there.
And, you know, you'd hope to get the steal there, but...
You see time for T gonna find that, tries to get the ult in, actually he's gonna get jumped on by Maverick. As he finds the kill, they're looking for a little more, gonna get knocked back by the Alistar, doesn't quite find the stun to bring. Ooh, a nice combo there coming from the Jax, jumping on to connect the bombs to find the stun there for the explosion damage. As we're gonna fight...
That's interesting, because that's a Rammus.
Yeah, that is gonna be... Viator is trying to do some sneaky plays on top of there. He might try to just end the game here. Has a lot of minions by him. Is gonna get stunned up. I don't know if they're gonna make this happen, but nah, they're gonna end up killing him, I think. They wait out the ultimate timer on the Aatrox to make sure he doesn't, you know, revive in the center of the fight. But at the same time, we're seeing a little more Uniques in the smoke, hunting around. Finds the jump on the Backpack, doesn't quite take him out there.
So all these Baron minions are really gonna make a problem.
Unique. Gonna back away from the Jax, so he's... Bestern's on him. Oh, he flashes over the wall. Just escapes there narrowly. And I think that this is
the beginning of the end. We see Nexus on...
These are the bells tolling.
Nexus has about 700 health right now, so really just a few autos, 2 or 3, and you're really set. I believe Akali and Ezreal just have to slap it a few times if they want.
Ooh, Nazumi's gonna find it in the center. Backpack's trying to find something to happen here as we see Asadeus on the back end here. Not able to be found by anybody. Maverick a little bit too low to get back into this fight. And we're just seeing the members of Schism slide out there. We see the taunt come through, and Asadeus not going to come there as he flies out of there. Unique finds a quick call on Rammus. Trying to find a little more here. Steven Nader's on the back end there. He's gonna get picked off. And that is going to be the game end on the side of Reign of Kings after a triple kill comes through. And a 2-0 comes in on the side of Reign of Kings.
Just a comment before real quick when we were talking about that Aatrox. I don't know if it was necessarily they were waiting it out, ulti, as much as they just couldn't do it. Like, they couldn't kill him in time just because of that health bar. And the resistances he had. And the healing as well, just so much on Aatrox.
Yeah. Either or, really. I want to say it was calculated. I wanted to put it in the last good word for Schism, that they're just waiting out the revive timer to kill him. But
I'm on the team. I can be rude, I believe.
That's fine. So, let's check some numbers real quick. So I think that if we are going with the rounding here, we do see that Unique on the Sakali, as it was handed to him first pick, dealt about 27,000 damage to champions, with the next highest in the game being Vader's Aatrox at 15,000. So I think that is a good testament to, power. The power of Akali, the very fair and balanced champion.
And to be fair, it's also the power of Unique. Akali can only take you so far. A champ can only take you so far, in my opinion.
Right.
So just knowing a champ well enough to just kind of look at a game and go, yeah, it's something happened.
So I had nothing else, but going forward, of course, we do have to pick the MVP for this series, and I feel like there is a very glaring choice here.
Yeah.
That burning a hole in my eyes, and probably in yours too.
Yeah, Nezumi really played it well.
Yeah, Nezumi, good job on that, Alistair. Really, really good job. So we are going to give the I am going to hand the MVP. I don't know if you're going to disagree with me. Always time for T.
Yeah, that's easy. That's
of course just the performance. Yeah, the Talia first game, the Camille coming through, finding those early ganks to level 2, level 3, and I know I said shades of a Jat, but of course he definitely showed his own and showed that he is a power jungler, coming through on the sub roster of Reign of Kings, really showing that having these substitute players that I want to wait. I want to get T in here if it's possible. If it's here. So we are here with the sub jungler. Always time for T for Reign of Kings. And thanks for joining us.
Hi, how's it going?
Oh, it's going good. It's
been
going
a while,
good.
guys.
It has been a while. It's interesting to hear you again. It's been good for us, but I imagine it's been pretty good for you guys. That was a pretty good back-to-back series of wins.
Yeah, it felt like some good games.
So you were on the roster. You were added to the sub roster just last week, I believe. So you haven't really. I imagine you hadn't really, checked out a lot of the games this team has played, and you just kind of. I know you guys and these guys really know each other. You play in a couple different teams, so it's not new synergy, but it was just kind of you got thrown on the team, and I really think that it was a Jot. Wasn't able to show up, so you showed up and said, "Hey, yeah, I'll play with you guys." Was it just more of I'm gonna do my thing, you guys do your thing? Or did you come in with like a game plan and say, okay, this is what we're gonna try to go for here?
Well, basically, for me personally, I know Ijat, team captain. He's a very aggressive jungler. So for me, it was pretty easy to fill that, fill that role in the sense that I play pretty aggressively myself, or tried to.
Right.
So it was quite easy for me to fit in that. But they really had their own game plans already. I just didn't. It didn't really have to change before when I came in. In terms of having played with these guys, this is the first game I played with any of them, apart from Unique, who's I played with and known for a while. He was the one who just said hey, can you sub in last week, and I was like, yeah, sure. So
sounds good. And I definitely remember I said it. The switch up looked pretty natural for Reign of Kings. We talked a lot about this team has moved to more early aggressive team, and Ajad, of course, especially on the Camille, and I talked about it, as you saw the level 2, level 3 ganks, and I talked about the shades of Ajad just coming in there and just finding those kills over the wall and just absolutely catching people before they could even make a flash to take most of their HP out. So you saw a lot of the same things, and I mean really the seamless transition from Ajad to time for teammates, and it seems a lot in these leagues, or in this league, that the substitute players, you sort of see a shift in the gameplay as it goes from one to the other. But so to see it go from the the captain to you and just sort of see that very easy transition, it looked very refreshing and very natural for Reign of Kings. So that worked out a lot well in your favor.
Yeah, it definitely felt really good.
I wanted to say, I don't know if I have much else for the sub player. Do you have anything else?
I've got something to say. Akali is absolutely broken, and it should be permanent for every game. I don't know why people don't ban it. I don't know why it's ever.
Gotcha.
The reason we didn't ban it is pick it the first game, and Unique broken champion. That's pretty much what I've got to say.
Anti shoutouts to Akali for sure.
I got 2 quick ones, if we have time for them.
Yeah, go for it.
So these have to be asked in succession of each other, so I'm gonna ask you both real quick, and then you can answer them. Do you hate Schism, and why?
I don't know who Schism is, so.
It's the team you just played, and that makes it hurt even more.
I will say I also don't know who Schism is. Next question.
So because I'm also a member, and that burns.
Oh, my bad.
Burns a hole right through my heart.
Do I hate them? No, they're good. They're good guys, I'm sure. They just didn't come out on top.
Yeah.
I will say I don't know.
So the question I have is just shot calling wise. I know that Ajat really likes to make, or I can call him Eli because I know him if you don't mind. Really likes to make those aggressive calls and go in, and really likes to push the team forward. Did you kind of take that up during your sub spot today, or did someone else kind of step up and kind of fill that role instead?
No, I mean I've always been the shot caller pretty much every team I've been on, and like for me it's I don't like I always like speak. I'm talkative in games, so I did most of I did like shot calling today, or some of it at least. Definitely about like the early aggression in the jungle and like where we need pressure, where we need lanes pushing and stuff like that. So yeah, I'd say I did the shot calling in place of him, but
all right,
when he comes back.
I believe that brings us to shoutouts, unless you have anything else, Geiston.
I have nothing else. I just want to hear great shoutouts from our sub jungler Always Time for Tea. So if you have any, let them out.
No, shout out to Vieta. I know he said that Eli doesn't really like to gank top, so I said, oh, well, you know, this time maybe I'll do a couple of cheeky ganks, and definitely game one he did well. Good job following up. And same likewise with like just insane follow up. And then I again appreciated like sometimes when I was playing along the top side of the jungle, I appreciated my bot line reacting accordingly to that. Sometimes it's not nice having to sit back a little bit and let the rest of the game unfold around you, but they did a good job doing that too. So ultimately, like, played well. It was a good game.
All right, sounds good, and glad we got to bring our resident British jungler in here. I'm sure our producer enjoyed it very much, somewhere behind the scenes. And that being said, thanks for joining us. Always Time for Tea, and very good performance, very good showing for Reign of Kings. That is actually going to look very good going forward. And I believe that's all we have. So thanks for joining us, guys. Again, that was Reign of Kings versus Schism Esports. That was a 2-0 win for the Reign of Kings. And I believe we have more games tomorrow. We've got 2, I want to say. Oh, let me go look. We've got Purple Cobras versus Atlas Esports tomorrow. Catch that at 8:30 Eastern. We're going to have that for you. And that is all we've got tomorrow. I said 2. I lied to you. I apologize. So we've got that for you tomorrow. Make sure you catch that. And that's all I've got for you. Again, I'm Skyson, and I was joined by Laxon.
All right, and it was a great time having me on here, and hopefully I'll be back another day.